Welcome back, players and coaches. Today we are joined by assistant coach at Denham Springs in Louisiana, Tony Sterling. Tony Sterling, my man, Snow Valley, my guy. Known him for about 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 years now. He's been assistant coach. Yeah, he's my roommate. So I'm missing this time. Shout out to Coach Showalter, man. I know everybody's missing camp that I've been talking to. So
I know I am.
Yeah, man. It feels weird not being there. So, but excited, Tony, you made the time to join us today. And Tony is now an assistant high school coach, but he played junior college and Division I. So we're going to hear and listen to him talk about how he developed as a player, and now he does some training with men's and women's team, or excuse me, individuals, boys and girls at the high school level, and we'll get into all of that. So Tony, when you were in high school, where'd you play, and what was kind of your route to getting to Louisiana Monroe?
I played at a high school, a Class 4A school called Minden High School, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Good program. Played under Coach Alan Shaw. He, big fundamentals guy. He always worked on passing and catching. Learning how to pass. Basically learn how to pass the ball, and learn how to set screens. But his main deal was, if you can shoot the ball or whatever, you can play on any team or make any team, and if you could play defense or whatever, you can do the same thing. But if you could do both, you can be a pretty good player, because everybody ain't gonna be like, a Kobe or a Jordan or, like a LeBron. That's like in the NBA, that's like, say, that's 10% of the league or less. But the other 90% or so are role players. They can play defense. They can shoot the ball, spotting up, or, setting screens, rebound, whatever you can, think of,
Mm-hmm.
and with like me coaching now, that's what I try to focus on, playing together, shooting the rock, passing the ball, just mainly learn how to play together. And I think that carried over with me when I went to college. I really learned how to play defense when I was in junior college, because that's what Coach Bonner stressed when I was at Bossier Parish Community College. We pick up full court. I mean, it was fun. We had some fun times. We had some fun times in practice. Even though it get a little rough, but it was fun. And I had really good teammates. Then when I got to, when I walked on at ULM, it was more, really about personnel. Learning on the fly. Like offense, like getting the early offense and stuff like that. But I think I was prepared in high school because Coach Shaw was more, he based his program through fundamentals. Then when I played JUCO my first 2 years, it was about defense. So I think that kind of molded me when I went to, when I walked on at ULM, because I could do both things, or whatever I can fit in. I wasn't looking to be a superstar, be the guy to score, because, when you get in college, everybody can score, and everybody can play, me being 6'1", I knew I wasn't going to the NBA, even though that was my main goal. I only had one ambition, which, it was play in the NBA. But I think I got to the highest level possible that I could, play at, which would play college basketball. Then, just to go walk on at ULM to do that, that was pretty big.
That's amazing. Yeah, you got to kind of get a feel for all of it, going from your high school where you kind of just learn the foundation and then getting defense and offense. I'm sure that really has helped pay dividends in coaching, not only now, but also in the development and helping other people develop their game, getting that kind of holistic approach where you saw the game from a variety of different angles.
Yeah, and, after I stopped playing, I just want to continue to be around the game, because, the game ain't just about basketball. I built a lot of relationships, a lot, all different levels, the NBA, college, high school, it can be even not, but, it can't be about basketball. It can be, developing a relationship with people in church, or, business, stuff like that. But basketball, it pretty much shaped my life.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Did you play any AAU in high school?
I did. I played. I didn't start playing AAU till I was in the ninth grade.
Mm-hmm.
Then I only played my ninth grade year, my 10th grade year, and my junior year, or whatever. And it wasn't as, you only played from like April to like July or whatever. Like you didn't have a tournament every weekend. Like you played in a big tournament. Like you had the Memorial Day Classic in Indiana. You had the Rumble in the Bronx in New York. Then of course you had the Peach Jam. That's always been around. But I had a pretty good AAU experience. It helped me, you know, you know, get some exposure to playing college basketball and developing friendships. Had a good AAU coach. But mainly what I did in my generation, we went outside, worked on our game. We played against, the kids in the neighborhood. We'll go to, like I live in Minden, you got Bolger and Shreveport. They pretty close, so we'll go play other kids in other areas. That's how we got better. Then, when we play AAU or whatever, you develop a friendship. So, once the season started, you seen them guys, so you wanted to go up against them or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty. I had a good AAU experience. I mean, AAU now is like it's nothing against it. I wish it was still like it was when I was playing. You're gonna play tournament. You're gonna play, like 5-6 games, in a day. We played like I think at least two games or whatever. Then when you 2 games a day, but like 5 or 6, I think it's taking the fun out of it. And on top of that, burning the kids out because most of the kids they getting injured. We used to break bones back in the day, and the kids they tearing muscles and stuff like that. You know, but with what Coach Showard and them doing with USA basketball, how they trying to educate everybody on just developing fundamentals and playing one game a day, kind of like what we do when we was at Snow Valley.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty good, But I think at the end of the day, you gotta work on fundamentals every day, even though they get boring. Not even with the kids that I work with. Some of them in the 5th grade, some of them in middle school, some of them in high school. We work on simple stuff like, sometimes we don't even go hard. Sometimes, we're doing form shoot, the whole time. Then we'll progress from that, But like with the little kids that I work with, I try to make it fun for them so they don't, get bored with it. Because you can tend to lose those kids when they, at that age.
I'm familiar.
Yeah, but it's fun, man. I wake up every day. I be in the gym. Except today, I took a break. It's Sunday, so.
Yeah, Lord's Day for you, Tone. So when you're doing some of that stuff, I think I liked a lot of the things you just said there, especially towards the end, talking about with younger kids making it fun because there is as an elementary PE teacher, I see there's kids that they like hoops when they're in kindergarten, but they have no experience, and by the time they get to 5th grade, they either love it or hate it, and there's nowhere in the middle. And I think we lose, and I think this is just dealing with specialization in general, but we lose some of those kids because you try to get too specific and they lose the fun early, and so they just think they're not good at it.
Yeah, I worked, for example, yesterday, I worked out 1 4th grader and 3 5th graders or whatever, and mostly, you do stuff with like cones and stuff with them. For me, for them, like we learn how to dribble because you try to make it a habit or whatever. Then, I got to put up this 8-foot goal for them that I attach to the, the goal that we have in the gym. And we just working on layups, on the right side, right foot, left foot up, then right, left up. And, trying to build that foundation for them or whatever. Then I do something like a group activity with them where, they're passing the ball, just learning how to pass, learning how to bounce pass. And, with those kids, they learning and, some of them uncoordinated or whatever, so it ain't going to look perfect in your eyes. But, if you can keep them, for a couple, as long as you can, you'll see that improvement with them, as they get older and stuff like that. I look at it as just like you're building a robot, because it's easy to work with those kids, because you can't get mad at them because they're young, they're learning. But, like for me, it's easy for me to get mad at a ninth grader coming into high school and he can't make a weak hand layup. So, and I tell those kids, I think my expectations are a little high for them, but like you gotta learn how to dribble with both hands. You gotta learn how to make layups with both hands. The shooting part, that's a career thing where you just gotta work at it. Everybody's jump shot ain't gonna look the same. But I think your feet should look the same. Just like Coach Tace Locks tell us, he say you make jumpers with your feet, you make layups with your eyes, or whatever. But with those young kids, it's fun. Like my passion get. I'll be in the gym every day, and sometimes, when you get tired, mentally tired, you be like, man, I need a day off. But like when those young kids come in there, it kind of motivate me to keep going or whatever.
Oh yeah, that excitement they bring, and just the smiles and the giggles and all the fun stuff. But you mentioned passing a few times, and that's actually something I feel like I need to learn how to do a lot better. So you're mentioning passing. So going back to your high school coach, what his name one more time?
Coach Shaw, Alan Shaw.
Coach Alan Shaw. You said he emphasized passing. So what sorts of things? Because I think that's an undertaught skill across the board. What types of things was he emphasizing? Because you mentioned passing with him and passing with younger kids. I think that's a skill that is especially lacking, at least in the American game, to say the least.
Like what we did in high school, it was more of you had first, you did it individually off the wall, passing it with two hands. You always pass the ball with two hands. Always. You never pass it with one hand because it's a greater chance of turning the ball over. Then when we worked on passing as a group, you had star drill. Then it's I forgot what you call it, like monkey in the middle, where you had like 10 guys in a circle, and you had like 3 of them in the middle, and you had to pass like certain stuff like that. Even though I do this with our varsity team or whatever, and it helps. Like you can't pass it to the person that's beside you. You gotta pass it, to in front of you, or something like that, or whatever. You can't travel. You gotta pivot. You gotta be in the stance. Then you can. It's a whole bunch of stuff we did, man. I remember those 2 drills that we did, but we did a lot of passing, like full court passing. I remember one day, I think we made a lot of turnovers in the game, and that next day, that's all we worked on, passing the whole time. And I think that's where I got my sense of feel for the game for passing, because when me being 6'1", being a point guard, I always wanted, like pass the ball like a no looker, something like that. But it was, as he really worked on, with passing and stuff, and then it helped a lot, like pocket passing. You put the ball in your pocket, so you have a good angle, to pass it. But it was a lot of good.
How do you work on it now with your kids that you're training, doing, whether it's younger, or even up to your high school guys? Because you mentioned you do certain drills with your high school guys as well.
It depends on how advanced the kid is or whatever. But with the younger kids, you just try to show them, how to pass the ball. Passing, you step forward with your right. Passing, you step forward with your left. Then we do 4-corner passing, stuff like that. And with like middle school kids, you still try to make it fun for them, because you're gonna have those kids in high school, so you don't want them to get tired of getting on them or whatever. So it's just pretty much the same stuff you do with the younger kids or whatever. And but mainly with them, I try to work on them passing with their weak hands. Just like, dribbling with their weak hand, making a layup with their weak hand. Same thing with passing. Try to make them pass with their weak hand. In high school, it's the same thing, except you try to make it more competitive. I know with the coach, he got one drill from that four-corner passing, but we could do it with weight balls or whatever. But we have 4 balls, like you have some kids at the elbows and you have some kids on the, at the bottom, whatever. We add a ball, then after that we add another ball, and then, before you know it, it's 4 balls going, and then, you not only are you working on passing, you're working on catching too. You're also working on pivoting too, or whatever, squaring up, Then, you're working on awareness and stuff like that. And, you're working on paying attention. You got to pay attention. You always got to be alert. Because, basketball ain't no time off unless it's a timeout. You sitting on the bench or it's a free throw. So you always got to be alert of what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Nice. So moving on from passing, how do you work on dribbling?
I work on dribbling. First thing I do is I try to do it stationary with everybody. If it's elementary school kids, middle school kids, high school kids, I try to work on the stationary. I tell them to keep their hand on top of the ball, whatever. Then we don't do no crossover between legs behind the back yet. So I, windshield wipers in front, windshield wipers, on the side. Then, you try to do it in and out, see what they can do. Then after that, I'll do that for about 10 minutes. Then the next 10 minutes, I try to see if they can dribble the ball while moving,
Mm-hmm.
Then, you do some simple stuff where they, it's a speed dribbling or whatever. And you try, you try to be creative with it. So on a speed dribble or whatever, I'll roll a tennis ball and they got to go get it. They got to keep their hand, their head up. They got to have their hand always on top of the ball or whatever. And they got to get it before, it passes half court. They got to keep it dribble, simple stuff like that. I try to stay away from cones and other stuff like that. But some of that stuff, it helps, especially like with the younger kids, where they can dribble around the cone, whatever, get some coordination, with their fingertips. But then I think with our high school kids, we mostly put cones down for our high school kids to do, like for spacing in the offense or whatever. So they can, have an understanding of what we're talking about and we run certain offenses that we have or whatever. But, dribbling is a habit, I think if you walk, if you had a tennis ball in your hand while you're inside and you dribble that ball, dribble it everywhere you went, it translates over to when you get on the court or whatever. I was telling the young kids yesterday, I said, need you to do 100 pounds a day with your weak hand. 100 pounds. If you can do more, that's good. But that's the only way you're gonna develop dribbling is just, just making a habit,
Yeah, doing a little bit every day, making the habit of just being committed to, hey, it's got to get equal. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. And I try to stay away from trying to do form shooting with the younger kids. I just let them shoot, I teach them how to shoot a free throw, like they got their own routine and stuff like that, because most of the kids, they'll try to hit the backboard and shoot. But I want them to develop that feel for themselves. But, around the time they get like in the 7th grade, that's when I try to do like form shooting with them, showing them how to do all this and that. But like when they're in the elementary school, I just try to, not as much, being technical with them, just trying to make it fun for them. Now, do 1 or 2 games, but the main focus, I think, with them is dribbling, just learning how to handle the rock, learning how to make layups and stuff like that, and passing too. So then all that stuff, it'll be in place for them when we start being more technical, how to shoot a jump shot. They already know you gotta make layups with your eyes, so not tell them that. I wish I had a shirt, make make layups with your eyes, make jumpers with your feet, But
Ooh, getting in the merch game. You got a Tone.
I
The
thought
camp
about
store
it.
going.
I thought about it. I gotta ask Coach Locke, for the permission first, because that's his saying. So, we both know that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll print it up. If we get his permission, we'll print it up. No problem. Then we'll get it done. We'll send one to him. Send one to you.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So then,
Go.
when it comes, go ahead.
I said, let's go. And I ain't saying.
Yeah, gotcha. So, and then in terms of shooting, so let's go. You started, we'll say it's 7th grade. So give me, because everybody likes to work on their shooting. What's a we'll go junior high, 7th or 8th grade for just like your average player, has been playing a little bit, off and on. But like at this point, they're not considered advanced. They're not the worst player. What's a typical workout with that type of player, boy or girl, look like?
For shooting?
Yeah, as far as shooting goes.
I'll do form shooting first with them. Like say this is the first time the kid came in. I do box drills, of course, but I do that second. So we'll do form shooting or whatever, and I'll see, what type of mechanics they have. If it needs if something need to be worked on, we'll work on it. But like I had this one kid, she's going to a Division III school, and she could shoot it, but a shot is unorthodox. She got to step into it, but she make it. I mean, we do this drill called ladder shooting, where you make one straight in the 5, the 2 corners, the 2 wings, and top key. Then we go to 2 straight, 3 straight, 4 straight, 5 straight, and I mean, she do it just like that. I mean, she can really shoot it, but that's all she can do. So when I started working out, I started doing dribbling and stuff like that. And I think it was like a week and a half into it, and I just said, I'm trying to make you be something that you're not. How about we just work on what you do best? And, by her really shooting, and she can get the ball up the court enough to, where she can handle it and give it back to the point guard. But, I mean, she ain't gonna be playing the point guard, in college. She gonna be spotting up. She gonna be coming off screens, And if she get the opportunity to shoot it, it's gonna be pretty good for her. But I'll say the typical workout that I do.
Yeah, let's typical workout with somebody like that. Let's go to that one since you mentioned her. So when you're talking about she's coming off screen, she's catch and shoot. What type of work? What types of things are you doing with her as to work on her game and take it to that next level as she moves on to college?
With her being a good shooter, we try to work on her making consecutive shots. She'll go off a screen. She got to make that one. Then she'll fade. She got to make that one. Then she got to come up. She got to go to another spot on the court. She got to make that shot. So she got to make all 3. She got to make all 3 shots, 3 straight shots, or whatever. Because it's easy to make 1. And I tell her, it's easy to make 2, but can you make 3? Can you make 4? We'll do like some defensive slides where she guard me or whatever. We'll go out and we'll start, like on the baseline, and she's zigzagging or whatever. Then she gonna run back to the corner. She gotta make 2 of those. Like she gotta make 1 where she moving. If she make that one, I throw her the pass, and she gotta make it, spotting up or whatever. But some of the stuff that I do with her, I don't have it wrote down or whatever. It's basically what they gonna run and off, like in college, offensively or whatever. So I try to base all her shots off the offense she'll be running in college. Like I think they run like a little bit of the spread offense that SFA runs, Stephen F. Austin.
Got you.
And it's another girl that I work out. She's 6'2". She going to Wisconsin. She's a stretch 4, so I do the ladder. She can do the ladder shooting too. But also I try to work on her mobility of getting rebound. Because I did something crazy one day. Like I got a ladder, or whatever. I got on top of the ladder, and I just hit the ball off a certain side of the rim, and she had to go get it before before it hit the ground. And it was it wasn't difficult for her, but it made her made her more aggressive, have a sense of urgency to want to get a rebound, want to get in that spot. Because I got it from everybody watched 30 for 30 on the Bulls, and I think Dennis Rodman was saying he'll study a shooter, and when they miss, he'll try to see like what part of the rim that they hit, and where did the ball go when they hit a certain part of the rim. So then I did a lot of a lot of hooks and a lot of up and unders with it or whatever. A lot of screening and screening popping. Because she can shoot it too. Not as good as the girl that's going to the Millsaps, but she can shoot it enough where she can
Go to
be trailing. Yeah, but and I tell all of them, when I played college, first got into college, you're gonna have that, them time, couple of weeks where you feel like you ain't gonna make it, but you get used to it after a while, But and also with the middle school kid I've been working with, which has been fun, we do box drills on on the elbows, then we do box drills on the wings or whatever. And I try to switch it up for him. Some how you'll flip the ball to yourself and jump stop. Sometimes I tell him, no, let's just dribble with our left hand, jump stop, just add something to it. Between the legs pound, pound behind, just to switch it up for him or whatever. We do some back pedal and, then jump stop just to work on his body and stuff. Just because his feet so big, he ain't grown into his feet yet. So I made him concentrate on his feet. But as far as his shot, I don't have to change his shot. Hopefully, if he continue to improve, hopefully I can get him, have some confidence in him to doing the ladder shooting with him. But hopefully that's the main goal. But he seen me do it with the two girls, and he was like, I can't do that, coach. But I was like, take time, Take time.
Mm-hmm.
And those girls, they work on their game. Not even with me. They go home, lift weights, run, shoot, and even during the pandemic, we was training outside. It's hot down here in Louisiana, so we was hey, it's hot right now, man.
Yeah, shoot. Yeah, no, people today, if you've never been to Louisiana and felt that heat, that's how would you describe how hot that is, Tone?
Well,
That's
I've been in Iowa the past 9 years during the month of July, and I don't avoid it. It's pretty hot. It's on. You walk outside. I walk down these stairs to go to my car. I'm already sweating. That's how hot it is. It's not that hot in Iowa. You can walk around and enjoy the good weather up there.
Yeah.
Sit outside, eat some Casey's pizza, man.
Oh my gosh. I'm going back this week. I'm so excited. I'm getting breakfast pizza at least 2 mornings.
Hey,
guaranteed.
Best pizza I ever tasted, man.
Ooh. All right.
Besides, go ahead.
No, go ahead. What do you got, Tony?
I said besides the pizza in Chicago, Giordano's, whatever they call it. I don't know what it is. Gotcha. Iowa got some good pizza. And it's from the gas station.
Let's go. Yeah, get you some Casey's pizza when you're cruising through the Midwest. So then when you're working with those elite level players or players that you think, I guess when you've been around, because you've coached some really good players, obviously on the women's side, but you've done some other stuff with camps as well. When you're coaching those really good players, what have you found? What are their routines? Why are they so good? What separates them from someone that's an average high school player, average player, to being that next level player? Does that make sense?
Yeah, with those guys from when I was sitting and watching when I went to the Nike Academy, thanks to Rod Baker for, giving me that opportunity to come and watch and observe. Man, them guys, it's the difference between somebody liking the game and loving the game. And most of those kids I've seen, especially those high school kids like Jalen Green, Imani Bates, Sharif Cooper, it's a Cade Cunningham, and them guys love the game. You can feel it even when they working out. Just how they work, they go hard every time. They just love the game, even though they blessed with that gift to, do more than what other players do. But man, them guys that I named, we'll see them on TV, in the NBA in the future. But them guys, they just love the game and they work on, simple stuff, and they listen, they submissive, they don't think they this and that, they listen to, what you gonna say, and they gonna take that. They humble kids, just being there close in person with them. Then, they get the opportunity to be around the NBA guys. So they really, they get soaked up with so much knowledge or whatever. You be like, man, and then for those guys to come back and, invest in them, it say a lot, Then, if you, you can go up to them and ask questions about, how you do this, how you shoot, what you do to shoot like that. Simple stuff. Yeah. It'll tell you, down here in the South, we got John Lucas in Eastern Texas. It's the same thing. He get on the player and he also get on the coach. He wants you to be the best you can be, and whatever you missing, he gonna tell you. And once he tell you, you better do it, every time. He wants you, he don't want a coach that's just laid back. He want a coach that's, energetic, always, and not bad intense, but intense enough where the kids are engaged the whole time or whatever. But even, when we at Snow Valley, we have some, you have some kids that are good, especially in the lower level, like the middle school kids or whatever. It's still amazing to me how good those kids are in Iowa or whatever, because all of them can shoot. Down here, we got athletes, but we're not as skilled as the Midwest kids or whatever. Every kid in the Midwest to me can shoot the ball. I was telling some of the coaches that I work with down here, I said I can bring probably 10 middle school kids from Snow Valley and let them play against our kids in our middle school, and y'all handpick them, and they'll beat them by 20 because they're so fundamentally sound when it comes to shooting and stuff like that. And that is really where I got my motivation from, to just work with, the young kids, middle school kids. I work with 7 middle school kids that'll be with us in high school or whatever. Now, we're going on 2 years of working with them. So I want to continue to do that as long as I'm here. I think that's how you build your program in high school or whatever. But fundamentals, man. It don't change. Kobe said, the fundamentals don't change. Can't get bored. So.
Got you. So what are some of your favorite drills that you do or did as a high school player or college player that if I'm a high school or college or whatever type of player right now watching this, that I can go start doing when I go to the park or go to the gym, whatever, to work on my game? What are some drills that you really think these promote improvement in? And it can be in any area of the game.
Well, you know how you warm your body up? You got to warm your hands up. So I do some stationary dribbling, just some pounds or whatever. You can do it with 1 or 2 balls or whatever. Then, you can cross over. Then you go between your legs. Then you go behind your back or whatever. Just you can do that 5 to 10 minutes, however long you want to do it. Then, I do box drills, of course. I do them on the block. I do them on the wing, and I do them on the block, elbow, and wing. Sometimes I do them from the corner. Sometimes I do it from the top of the key or whatever. Then I do like some shooting stuff, like two straight, like the ladder shooting I was telling you about.
Mm-hmm.
Then I do like some stuff where I can get my blood flowing, like running, like doing like defensive slide or whatever into a shot. Defensive slide, go get the rebound. Some full court stuff. But man, main thing what I really, really work on is just shooting, catching, and shooting. Mainly what we did on offense and what shots I'll be taking. Like we run flex down, in our program because we don't have the shot clock, so we can run it. So mainly when I'm working with our kids in our program, we try to see if we get up, if we can make that elbow shot, because that's pretty much a free throw. 3-point line extended. Can you make that shot? There's not as much dribbling in the flex offense. So you don't really have to, try to create your own shot. Basically by passing, setting screens, and making open shots. So, but not too much.
And so now moving into more of the other stuff as far as recruiting goes, just to kind of pivot. When it came to recruiting, what was the recruiting process like for you, and how did you go about making your decision as it went from level to, because with high school, how did you decide to go to junior college, and junior college to go to being a walk-on at ULM?
I think I was like 6 feet and 55 pounds when I was coming out of high school. So I was small, and I had a couple schools like sitting there in Northwestern. But physically I wasn't ready. I was good academically, but I wasn't ready physically. So I went to JUCO, gained some weight, had a good career, started a couple times or whatever. But
how good were some of your teammates, or where were the best players out of your junior college going, or did you have people that are notable from there?
Myron Jackson, he went to Indianapolis. I had Joey Savage went to Division II in Missouri, I think. Forgot the name of it. Then I had Bobby Johnson. He went to LSUS. No, he went to Belhaven. Then everybody else kind of just went to after they just wanted to go, play. Just go to college. But like me, I still wanted to play or whatever, and I still want to stay close to home. So I said, it wasn't about me just playing Division I, because I could have went to NAIA school or whatever, but I wanted to stay close to where I was. So I went to ULM and just tried out, and before you know it, I was on the team. But I just went in there, I hustled, played defense. I was on the floor. I just showed them that I really wanted to play, really wanted to be a part of the program. And I didn't give up at all. And the coach liked it, Coach Early. He was the head coach at the time. Now he works for the Memphis Grizzlies or whatever. So I had a good basketball career, even though, everybody based their career out like, did you start and all that? No, I had a pretty good college career. Had junior college team. We had a winning season, two winning seasons. Then at ULM we had a winning season 2. We got play against Kansas when they won the national championship. That was our first game. So that was pretty fun to play against them.
Mm-hmm.
Teron Collins is like a running back, and me Gardner. So
how'd that go?
Held
him to a quiet what?
Oh man, I don't even remember the score, but it's a good experience.
My bad. Tone didn't mean to bring up bad memories.
Hey, it was a good experience. Hey, play against the national champions, man. They had Daryl Arthur, Mario Chalmers, man. It was,
Yep.
yeah, man. It was pretty good, man.
So what was this typical day when you were playing Division I basketball? What was that like? Because I think a lot of guys say they want to play Division I, and they may not know what the schedule is. I've never, and for full clearance, I was a Division II guy. Didn't play when I was a manager, so I
Oh
know what the
man,
Division II schedule was. What's the Division I typical Monday through Friday or Monday through Saturday look like?
Monday through Saturday, sometimes Sunday. Monday through Friday, you waking up probably like 5:30 to get to practice at 6. You know, but you had to be there earlier too, get some shots up. So you'll be there probably at 5:30. You know, practice start from 6 to 8. You got class at 9, so you go to class from like 9 to like 1. Once you get out at 1, you got weights at 2, like from 2 to 3, somewhere up in there. Then after that, you're gonna be hungry all the time. So you get you something to eat, you know, shower or whatever. Then after that, you go to study hall. Then you do it well. I mean, you study. Then after that, you do it all over again. Sometimes on the weekends, if you didn't practice one didn't go too well. You practice twice. Go from 8 to 10, then you go from 2 to 4. Sundays, you have a little break. You just come in and get some shots or whatever. But Sunday was mainly like a resting day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was your quote unquote off day that you still got shots and maybe got treatment if you had got dinged in practice or something.
Oh yeah, man, it didn't stop. I mean, it was like I think it was much worse when we was in. I wouldn't say worse. I think I was more busy and on my feet when I was in JUCO because we.
What was the JUCO schedule like then? Because Division I, that sounded pretty full. When you start, you got to be in the gym on the court at 5:30, and then you're probably finishing up study hall anywhere between 7 and 8:30, would be, I guess.
Yeah, like we lifted weights first when we was in JUCO, so we lift weights at 5 because we'll go like from 5 to like 6:30. I mean, then had class at 8, so you go to class from like 8 to 12. Then you eat some. Then you we practiced a long time when we was in when I was in junior college. We practiced like from like 2 to like 5. So then we had study hall. You had to do like 10 hours of study hall a week or whatever, Monday through Friday. So yeah, you had to do that. So then like the JUCO I went to, they didn't have dorms, so they had us in apartments. So we basically learned how to live as young men, like paying bills, learning how to eat right. Because you can't eat Mickey D's, can't eat Burger King, can't eat Pizza Hut, can't eat that every day. Yeah, and learn how to cook. That's probably why I still like I eat oatmeal every day in the morning. I was eating oatmeal every day during the morning, and that's healthy, to do. But learn to
Yeah.
eat fruit, drinking a lot of water. Just I think like JUCO helped me a lot in terms of how to live off the court, how to manage money, stuff like that. But to also learn how to build relationships with your teammates off the court too. So it was junior college was fun. I mean, don't get me wrong, ULM was fun too, but junior college was really fun. We had some good time.
Yeah. And sure. Who did you play? Did you play against anybody that anybody would know in
Oh,
junior college?
Marcus Thornton, he was at Kilgore. He played in the NBA. Man, there was a bunch of other guys. I can't recall their names. Like, I had one kid that, I remember we played Tyler Junior College, and they had like 7 Division I players. Like, yeah, one kid named Kurt Luby. I think he went to Iowa State or Iowa. Then Justin Johnson went to Iowa. Then they had Justin Gray. He came from Iowa State, and he went somewhere else after that. But, man, you talking about some trees, man. I never played against nobody that big in my life. It was 6'10", 6'10", 6'8", 6'7". That was their starting lineup, and they point guard would look like Sharon Collins, look like a running back, and he was 6 feet, could jump out the gym. So that's the same junior college that Jimmy Butler went to. San Jacinto in Texas, they had a pretty good team.
That whole league in Texas, that Whack-Jack League's got some dudes.
And we went and played in Arkansas at Arkansas Fort Smith. And I had 2 teammates from Little Rock, Arkansas, Myron and Jarrell. And they were telling about this guy that could jump out the gym. And, we played him or whatever. And that's probably the most embarrassing I ever got dunked on, because this kid jumped from the free throw line almost and skied over me. He was like 6'6". His name is Sonny Weems. He ended up going to Arkansas and played in the NBA for I don't know how long. But I think he's still playing too. I think he still play overseas or whatever. That kid, man, that dude could fly. He could fly. It was unreal.
Watch your head. Were you trying to take a charge?
Oh, you had it. You coming out the game. I wasn't trying to block that. I wasn't trying to block it. I for surely took a charge.
They give you the call?
No. They gave me one.
That's insult to injury.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, man.
What's your career high score? What's the most you ever threw up in a game? You mentioned your coach likes shooters and that you kind of bought into that.
In high school, it was 40. Against Darlene High School. Man, I think I could. Man, it was just a good night. I had like 8 threes, and they were a good team, But it was a good night for me. In college, I think in JUCO I scored 12. And then when I was at ULM, it was like 6 or 7 or whatever. But when I was at Minden, man, when you're good, you're good,
Mm-hmm.
But it ain't nothing like, when you get in college, everybody good, man.
Yeah, no, that's I thought that was, you went from playing, you're a humble dude, so yeah, you hung 40 on somebody, then the most you ever scored in college was 12. I think that's important for people, especially young players, to hear that.
Yeah, and you have people in the NBA scoring 6 to 8 points a game or whatever, and they got pretty good contracts, because they just send screens. But they're doing other things too, they score 8 points a game, but they probably got like 15 rebounds, 4 blocks,
Yeah.
You making money just set a screen.
Doing their job, just doing their one. Because I thought you brought that up at the beginning that, most of the guys that scoring's done by 10 to 15, maybe 20% of the league. And the rest of the guys, those superstars that you're naming, that's 10% of the league. So somebody else has to fill the rest of those rosters and the rest of those roles, doing the things that don't get you on Sports Center, the rebounding, the screen setting, the deflection here and there. I mean, Marcus Smart just got paid, and I don't think he's known for his offensive prowess. And I was at Oklahoma State camp when he was there, and he was definitely good enough to score. And he was all Big 12, and now he never scores in the NBA.
And people don't look at it like this too. That 10% of the NBA, as they get older, they go back. They either gonna be role players or they're gonna be done. Because everybody is a role player at the end of the day. Some just got. Can do a little more, like Carmelo Anthony. And them guys, they struggle with that when they part of the 10%, but they have to do this because they can't do what they known, what they known for anymore, or whatever, because they got a little older or they had some injuries or whatever. But you've been doing that for 8 years, but you got the next 7 years, you're going to be a role player, like Vince Carter. You know,
I
Vince
was just
Carter
about to
was a guy.
say 22 years.
Yeah, Vince Carter was the guy. He was part of 10% for about 10 years.
I was gonna say when
He
he was in
added
Toronto, man, that
yeah,
document 30 for 30 on him is crazy in Toronto.
yeah. And
Go ahead. Sorry,
look,
yeah, Vince Carter.
that's like the first part of his NBA career. Now he added 12 more years on his career. I mean, 22 years. That's a lot, you know. And probably could still play if he wanted to. He was in good shape. I don't think he had any major injuries or whatever. You know, like for instance with Kobe. I know I talk about Kobe a lot. That's my favorite player, which he was still here. But, you know, if Kobe would have had that Achilles tear when he was younger, you know, say like 33, you know, he probably would have had to, you know, be a role player for those next couple years that he had left. You know, like Carmelo, he figured out, you know, how we gonna see Kevin Durant. You know, that's a major injury. What he had, you know, Achilles. But you know, with the stuff they have in the medical field, you know, he probably come back the same player, or he probably won't. You know. But,
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Everybody's just assuming they don't understand the hard work that's going to have to come back. Did you ever have any major injuries when you were playing?
No. When I was in middle school in 7th grade, I broke my leg. Then I broke it. They say I broke it the right way, so I won't have no problems. I ain't had no problem with it. You know, 34, still running almost every day. And
Yeah. I was just curious because I mean, like what Kevin KD's gonna have to come back from, man. Like I've had zero major injuries as well, so I've been very fortunate. But the rehab, watching guys in college go through that and to understand how hard that process is, to think he's gonna come back day one, that's just unrealistic. I mean, and I'm sure I really hope he comes back strong because when he won that last finals, his second year in Golden State, he was best player in the world, in my opinion. He was just unguardable, walking bucket.
yeah, unreal.
So, dang, man. So just trying to wrap this up, what advice do you give to players that come and talk to you? And you obviously accomplished your goals. You talked about having a great career, even though that didn't mean a huge role at ULM. I mean, that experience to be able to obviously play against Kansas, they won the national title. That makes up a great career as well, in my opinion. So, what advice would you give to kids that are, whether it be about their role, whether about playing about the next level, just kind of a couple of minutes as somebody that went and achieved that goal, that maybe not the dream of playing in the NBA, but going and accomplishing that goal of playing, going to an open tryout and making it. What advice do you have?
You know, you gotta have the work done before you go to work. Like, you know, when I went and walked on at ULM, I was working out almost every day. You know, either if it was running or just shoot. And also I was just, you know, I was getting advice from like other like coaches, like, what you think I should do? And they was giving me, you know, they was being truthful. It's like, Tony, you ain't gonna go in there. They're gonna be like, you gonna start. This is Division I school. Or you never Division II or NAI. You know, they already got these players. I mean, if you was that good, they would have had you. They would have gave you a scholarship. You know, they would have recruited you. So you need to go in there and do the little things, because the little things are probably better than the big things that they got. You know, the kids that they had on scholarship for. So, you know, hustling. You know, let them see what you know, because they can see if you're fundamentally sound or not. They just want to see your character when you go in there. You know, so and you can't get bored with fundamentals. You got to keep doing. You got to keep doing. You got to keep doing. In the game of basketball, you got to work on your craft every day. Every day. It don't mean you got to run 100 sprints every day. You know, you can just work on shoot. You can do something stationary. You know, and I also think you should, you know, because I used to read. I mean, I still read to this day. I used to read a lot of basketball books. like on shooting, dribbling, or offense. So I try to be more cerebral when it came to the game, as far as reading, like seeing the game, and that, I think that helped me more than just just getting shots up and working out. I think you can work on your game by reading what you need to do, like like in from reading from a book, whatever, which I still do. It seems like there's a lot of good books out there. I got a lot of workout books with drills and stuff, but I also try to like this shooting book I have is showing different ways, like you can work on balance and stuff like that. But main thing, can't give up, because if you do it every day, you're gonna have some type of success. It's just like me in the gym, constantly every day working with kids. I'm learning how to deal with kids, building a relationship with them. And also, I'm working on my craft. Like, how can I make this drill a little more, not easy for them, make it more understanding, a little more fun, so they won't get tired or whatever. But I say never give up. If you think you can do it, that means you can do it. So you gotta work at it, work at it, work at it, work at it, or whatever.
Absolutely. Well, thanks, Tony. Anybody wants to get in touch with you, what's all your social media, man?
Instagram and Twitter is Creole TS2. This is how it's Haitian. You say it's Creole and Haitian. So you spell it, it's KREYOL TS2. That's my Instagram and Twitter. You want to email me, it's antonio.sterling@lpsb.org.
All
I'll
right.
reach out.
Perfect. Yeah, get in contact with Tony. Make sure if you've liked this, enjoyed this video, make sure you've subscribed below, like, comment, send it to your friends, put it in your group chats with your teammates. If you like this, Tony's got some great stuff and we'll get it clipped up. Tony, really appreciate you taking the time. The show is going on the road. We're going to be in Idaho as we make our way back to the Midwest. So John Radford and his son are going to be coming up next week. Tone, Snow Valley guys. There'll be also some guest appearances. We're going to do some of these in person. So make sure you like, subscribe, get notified. Really appreciate it. As always, get at us on IG and Twitter at GameShotsBB. So appreciate you taking the time, Tony, and we'll see you next time, all players and coaches.
All right, man. Thank you.